Hey guys, Adam Perry here with TrueDFS, and I'm going to go over today's MLB slate for DraftKings and for FanDuel. Should be a pretty straightforward one. There's not a lot to look out for. We'll go over using SaberSim's projections. We'll use Goldie's projections. We'll see how they differ. We'll play around with the portfolio manager a bit. Just kind of give you an idea of what these tools can do. So before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you do like what we do here, and I think there's a lot to offer, check out TrueDFS.com because you could get these packages for not much more than you'd pay a la carte, right? You get like SaberSim, the pay dirt analytics models for DFS and for betting, Sheets' projections, Goldie's projections. I say it all the time. You get all of that, and it's like $25 more than just paying for like one of them alone, just paying for SaberSim alone. So it's like kind of an unbeatable deal. And I don't think there's anything in the industry that has a more robust package with that many different sort of tools that you could get. So I highly recommend it. But yeah, let's get started. Let's get into SaberSim. I'm going to build 5,000 lineups, which you can get on the regular packages. And what's up, Andy? Good afternoon to you too. So I'm going to build, let's start with DraftKings. That's the more popular site. So he's got what, 10 games again? Yeah. All right. So let's make two changes and build using SaberSim stuff and see where it gets us. Now I'm going to make some changes here to stacks. I'm not going to accept less than a 4-4. I'm going to keep min salary as it is, and then I'm going to go build. And I'm just going to call this SaberSim. So we'll have the SaberSim one. Then we'll have the Goldie's one. Now DeGrom is really standing out. I mean, he's projected 2 points higher than the next highest guys, which are Gilbert and Yamamoto. We'll see. Let's take a look in like the value scores that we have, if they're really far ahead of the field. Let's take a look here. We got Goldie's projections. Yeah, I mean, DeGrom is really standing out. And then, I mean, Gilbert is 4 ahead of Yamamoto. So at 400 less, he's projecting better than Yamamoto. At just 600 more than Gilbert, you get DeGrom way higher. So his value score is really popping. So we'll see. I expect to get a good, healthy dose of them here. But we will see. We will see. We'll build it on Classic. We'll build it on Portfolio Diversifier to see how it changes up what we get. Let's make this 150. And we're in the standard type. Perfect. Sort it by ROI. Let's see how it looks. Let's see how much of the, 73% of the DeGrom and a ton of Gilbert and Yamamoto. Let's see what our stacks look like. So these are going to be like sorted by ROI. So a lot of the Houston 5-mans, some 4-mans. Then you get St. Louis and Colorado. You get the White Sox. Now, we forgot to mention this. Talk about that. There's a little bit of weather to look out for, as there always is in Tampa. So normally, like, who cares? It's the White Sox. How much White Sox are we gonna play? But they are on fire somehow. So don't sleep on them. So check the weather as it goes on. But all the DeGrom, Houston, who's Houston? In Arizona. Okay, good place to hit. Who's Arizona got on the mound? Eduardo Rodriguez. Okay. And the price is right on Houston. Let's see. Let's switch to the Portfolio Diversifier. This is going to change things up quite a bit. I imagine we're going to get not mostly anything, but we'll be spread out now. And I expect, let's see. It wants us to do a new build. Okay. Let's do it then. I mean, I have a feeling our highest owned will be St. Louis here. as it not only tries to win first, but also tries not to lose and get us in a whole range of things. Let's play around with the stacks. Let's build. The other weather is Colorado. Yellow, definitely some rain around. Current expectations that they're able to play ball one way or another. Yeah, I mean, you got to watch it a little more than any other game because it's Colorado. And you're going to have exposure to this, like, without a doubt, if you're playing 150. So keep an eye out for it. Even with some rain, obviously, it doesn't look like it's going to get postponed or anything. So St. Louis is still going to look pretty damn good. Severson's got him at 6.8 average runs scored, way ahead of the field. Thing is, Colorado's got a high total too. St. Louis has nothing to be desired on the mound. Eric Fetty, he doesn't get Ks outside of Coors. He could be throwing some with even less movement. So who knows? The thing is, you could still play guys against Colorado even when they're not good, even when they're in Coors. I wouldn't be shocked to have a little bit of Fetty. We'll see. We got the Sims running. Perfect. Let's ask it for the portfolio diversifier. Now things are going to be a little bit more spread out, but we'll compare and contrast using Saber Sims versus Goldie. I mean, now you get down a little bit lower on DeGrom, a little bit lower on Gilbert, a little bit lower on Yamamoto. You get exposure to all this other stuff at just a little bit higher clip. And then I bet you we're not getting all that Houston. Still a good deal of Houston, but not nearly as much in the 5-mans or the 4-mans. Right there, you get the St. Louis 25%, like we expected. Colorado, like we expected, at just under 10% in 5-mans. Cubs, Mets, Giants. That makes a little more sense if we are getting spread out with diversity. Not that many 4-stacks. Let's see in our 9 4-mans out of 150. So that's if we use SaberSim. Let's see what it looks like using Goldie's stuff. Call it Goldie's. And don't forget, you get these with a TrueDFS sub. It is a pretty robust package. You don't want to sleep on. Okay. Stacks, we're going to do everything exactly the same. Control for as much as we can in this little experiment we're doing. And it shows you. I mean, we went over, like we do this every day with me and Sheets. You make a little change to the inputs, it's going to really change what you get. Now, we're going to diversify smartly, and so I imagine it takes us somewhat closer to what we got with the portfolio diversifier. But you change the inputs, you're going to get a little different no matter what method you use. And I imagine if we use just the regular ROI, it'd be quite a bit different. But let's see if we get to all this Houston. Let's see what the Colorados look like, how much DeGrom, and so on. See where it goes. What was the other? Cubs, winds are mostly blowing across the field. There's not much to worry about there. Who's pitching for the Cubs and the Royals? Oh, a lot of runs yesterday. What's up, Gabriel Medina? At what point would you consider simming against the Sims or just playing the top projected plays because a lot of the field is using Sims? Yeah, it's like the pivot off the pivot, as they say when you're making pivots, Gabriel. Like, if all the field's using Sims and everyone's doing kind of the same thing, then is there merit to just not doing it at all. Right? Because, well, it says Houston's not going to be owned. Well, what happens when everyone sees that? Then Houston's owned. So at what point do you say, forget it? I mean, I think, Gabriel, that the portfolio manager is answering that for us. What it's saying is, this is how often these teams are optimal. Just play them at their kind of optimal rate to some extent. Consider ownership to some extent as well, but get diverse. So you are somewhat insulated from the ownership that can't be predicted, and some of that from the field, all using sims. So you diversify smartly. You get exposure everywhere in your portfolio at the range at which they are in the winning lineup. And so they call that the GTO, the game theory optimal sort of approach, term coined in poker, but useful for DFS. So I think that's my answer, Gabriel. But of course, we are still considering ownership. So there is that sort of like, what happens when everyone does the same and it affects ownership. So I don't know for sure. I don't think I would just use top projected, though. I think that there's no way that doesn't get you chalky, too chalky, and just too in lineups that just don't win. If you're just playing the highest projected, especially if you're not stacking with it, right? We always want to be stacking. And so if you're just playing the highest projected, you're going to get, 3-3-2s, and you'll get the cheap guys from St. Louis, or who knows, but you're not necessarily going to be stacking. So I would recommend still using the sims. I probably would say I never get off of them, to your question, Gabriel, but maybe there is some merit in doing that, or using, of course, the Saber score metric, which was back tested quite a bit and existed before the sims. So can recommend that too. Yeah, thanks for the question. So let's see. We're about the same, a little less Yamamoto, and just a little bit more of all the small stuff. Here you get a little Fetty, a little one Hendricks, a little more Ginn using Goldies. Let's see in stacks if it ended up the same. Oh, way different. Look at that. Changing the inputs, just changing the projections that we use. We go down 10% in St. Louis, and the Cubs jump to the top. The Mets jump higher. Colorado, about the same. Houston, way down. So it just shows you, you change the inputs and you get that pool of lineups different, you're going to really get changes to how it goes, even when it's diversifying, right? Even when it's saying, well, what are the optimal rates in our sims? So there you go. I'm a proponent of using Goldie's projections. So I'd say on DK, I'm going about the same on pitchers, spread out with 40% DeGrom, 35 Gilbert, about 30 Yamamoto, then a little bit to everyone. And then I got a diverse set of 5-mans and 4-mans with the Cubs, St. Louis, some Houston, some Colorado, some Mets at the top of my board. I like it. Let's do a little FanDuel. We'll make the same comparison. Thanks. Yeah, thank you, Gabriel. I appreciate you showing up, checking us out. I appreciate the questions. Come join us in Discord and ask away. We got a lot of sharp people in there answering this kind of stuff. So let's build using SaberSim. I'm going to take away all of the nonsense. I'll let it have 4 2s. I won't have it 4 nothings. We'll build using SaberSim. Let's call it SaberSim. See where it gets us. And we'll give Goldies a stab. The best is when we have sheets as 2 and we can compare all 3. We'll get that for later for sure. Sheets will have it live at 4:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Helps us out a whole lot. We'll just do the diversifier for FanDuel. I won't mess with the classic. I'm not going to use the classic in my own. I want to show you what I would do. What was the other? Atlanta. Is Atlanta on the? Yeah, Atlanta's on the main slate. There's like a 5-game turbo slate today with 10K up top. It's pretty nice. I guess, they can fill it if there's more games. I don't know. I play regardless, but I guess there are some people who see more games and it's a more attractive slate. I get it. When it's a 2-game turbo, is there much EV in it? When it's a 3-game, it's a 5-game, it probably gets a little bit better. Of course, as the field gets larger, you get more bad lineups in there and better ROI. So it's nice to see that they've got 10K up top for the turbo at the 540 central lock. And there's 10K up top for the showdown tonight. It's good contests tonight. There were good contests yesterday too. All right. Let's see. FanDuel using SaberSim projections. Wow, nice and spread out. Gilbert, Yamamoto, Montas, only 17% of DeGrom. I mean, the thing I like about that too is we're playing so much on DK. We'll just be with the field on FanDuel and not get too overexposed across our two portfolios. Let's see in stacks what our main stacks are. A lot of St. Louis. Yeah, I mean, pricing is soft on FanDuel. You could get them in with the huge total in Colorado. So it makes sense that we're going to have the most when we try and play the GTO style. The price is right on them on FanDuel, and they fit in. And then you get the Cubs, San Francisco Mets. So kind of a similar range of hitting over on FanDuel using SaberSim stuff. Let's build a Goldie set, and then we'll get out of here. Goldies. Switch to his ownership. Take off the nonsense stacks. 4, 4, 4, 4. All right. Let's see where we get here. See if there's any. I mean, I tend to not. One thing you noticed is I didn't mention one single player take. I tend to be a kind of trust the projections guy. I don't have too much to say. I like Matt Boyd is exciting, but the price is getting up there. The same with Mizorowski. I mean, Mizorowski is just in the nuts sometimes, but that price at 1040 is not much cheaper than DeGrom. And there's some sort of recency effect. I mean, he's going to look good in Seattle, though. But especially in FanDuel, where the quality start matters and the win matters, he's probably a little less exciting. I don't want him to get the win. I'm a Cubs fan. Brewers just took over first in the NL Central, right? They win. They're on a huge streak, like 9 in a row or something. Yeah, they have the best winning percentage, 10 in a row. 10 wins in a row for the Brewers to get into first place. Not too shabby. It's going to be good when they play each other. Wrigley North in Milwaukee. But we'll see. Brewers fans are going to be out. First place team. When are they playing next? Cubs schedule. Sorry, let's take a look. Here we go. August 18th. Oh, a doubleheader. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5-game weekend series. Is that a weekend series? No, 5-game series starting on Monday. Doubleheader, Cubs Brewers. We'll see if they're still locked up in first in the NL Central. I like it. And August 16th is UFC Chicago. Is it like UFC 319? Duplessis and Chimaev Sheets turned me on to that yesterday. Exciting stuff. Now look, if we use Goldies, DeGrom just way up. Well, wait, let's see. Never mind. Wait, hold up. I got to switch it to the diversifier. Diversifying lineups. Let's see. Okay, it's about the same here. Really spread out in pitching. And we do get more DeGrom, but not much more. Goldie's got him at 27% owned. We still get Gilbert and Yamamoto as the highest. Let's see if the stacks change much. Yeah, look at that. We went from 32% St. Louis down to 10%. You get San Fran, Colorado, Mets, Toronto, and Cubs is the highest owned again. So it really changes things up if you change those inputs. It's really cool and interesting to see. And what you do is with TrueDFS is you get Goldies and you get sheets. You can use them both. You can average them. I don't think you really want to average them. Some people do. Some people swear by it. Try and take an average of Goldies and sheets as a projection. So something to consider. And you get all of that with TrueDFS. You get all these tools I used, and there's more. There's the premium Discord. There's the pay dirt analytics. We don't use it enough. But for DFS and for betting, you get the pay dirt model. It's like $25 more than you'd pay just for SaberSim. So check it out. You saw who I'm playing in the early going. You saw what a portfolio would look like. Come get access to that. Check us out. And good luck on tonight's slate. Let's go.